Hello there, and welcome to Women's Business.
My name is Dr. Marianne Shallcross Smith, known to most as Dr. Daycare, and this is my co-host, Amy Vogel. We'd like to welcome you to our mentoring program designed to educate our community on issues facing working women. We will be speaking to our guests in the areas art, sciences, health, education, law, medicine, politics, community service, military, and business.
The goal of the show is to provide information that comes only from personal experience and to pass this information down to our daughters, nieces, neighbors, family, and friends. Much of the content will relate to the guest speaker's journey in their profession, what they have learned most about this process, and what they wished they had known before this journey began. Since women-owned businesses are the fastest growing sector of our economy, my guests will close with what lesson they would like to pass on to the viewing audience.
Hello there. Thank you for joining us on Women's Business. We are honored to welcome the author of Chasing Sleep, Patricia Hinkley. Welcome to Women's Business, Patricia.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
Goodness. And I want to give a huge shout out to Stillwater Press.
They're great.
Oh
They're great.
My God.
Local
Rhode Island,
and
born and raised. And I met
Yeah.
Steve at a chamber meeting probably 10 years ago. And he is the most supportive man I've ever met when it comes to this whole world of writing books and being an author, and it's amazing. And the knowledge base he has is amazing.
And he started a group called Association of Rhode Island Authors.
ARIA, right?
And ARIA.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It started at, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 people, and it's in the
Oh,
hundreds
grown.
now.
Hundreds.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go on Facebook and look at the picture of the amount of people, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have not even got to a meeting. I'm a member, but I would really like to get to the meeting because I hear the energy that flows at that meeting gives you the power and the pump up and the determination to get to the next step on your next book.
It's a great supportive thing just to be around other authors and sharing.
I know you had shared with us that you've been in Rhode Island for 5 years, but I'm born and raised in Rhode Island, and I just wanted to say that anyone who's born and raised in Rhode Island knows that Stillwater bookstore is in the old Peerless building in Pawtucket.
It's a very good bookstore.
It's a great, right at the bus stop there. Yeah. The old Peerless building, as I say it. People are like, what do you mean the old Peerless building? I'm like, oh, well, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, no, so I was joking around with you.
That's how Rhode Islanders speak.
That's
That's
how we
that we're there, not
Yeah,
but
right,
exactly.
right.
aren't there anymore.
So tell us the motivation to author a book. Why?
Well, when I started writing my first book, Claiming Space, Finding Stillness That Inspires Action, I just got the sense I needed to write, and I was like, write a book, and I was like, what? I've never written a book. I don't know how to do that.
Yes.
And, so I started writing and didn't know what I was doing and just wrote and wrote and wrote. And it just sort of flowed organically and took a long time for that book.
How long did it take you to write that one?
Oh, probably 2 years.
Okay.
Well, it's not so long. My God, I've had one on my head for like 4 years. That's pretty good.
Well, the trick is getting it out of your head onto the
On
paper.
Yes, I know that. Wow. So it's Claiming Space. Tell us about how people are watching the show. How do people claim space? Sounds like personal space, right?
It's personal space.
Yeah.
It's about finding stillness within you, because that is your place of integrity, wholeness, a place where it's your center of who you are. And so it's important to step back from the busyness and from our devices that we're on all the time, and to step back and just find quiet. And it might be in finding what you love, what's beautiful. You see birds outside your window, you smell for me, I live down by the beach, so I smell the salt air, and it's like, whoa. So it's, these things nourish you by stepping back to take time for yourself. And many people don't, and we're kind of going from one thing to another to another. The news cycle drives that and drives us crazy. But so it's important to take that time.
So you say you go outside, you smell that salt air down in South County, that triggers you, and tell me how you still get yourself in that space. Do you take a deep breath? Do you stop and
That's
smell
a
the
real-
roses, as my mom would say? Or?
Well, that's a really good question, because you stop and smell the roses, and then you take time to notice.
Oh.
You breathe it in and go, And if you forget that step, if you just go, oh, rose, oh, beach, oh, whatever, it's not the same thing. It's an invitation. Each thing that is beautiful to you is an invitation to stop and just allow yourself to expand on the inside. It's nurturing.
Why do you think we don't do that?
I don't know that people know. And that's why I wrote the book.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely, yeah.
We don't know, and one thing after another pulls us, and people are addicted to their devices, and nowadays to the fast pace of the news, and it's destructive to our spirit.
Yeah. We're in the child care business, and I've read a lot of books on children. One is A Hurried Child. In other words, how much from the time, and I did it to her, she's my daughter. Okay, we're going to go here, we're going to do this, we're going to do that,
Yeah.
next thing we're going to do this, and tomorrow is this day. And it's like looking back a little bit, like it added in my life. I thought she was the most sociable person you're ever going to meet. Both my children are. However, I wondered, like, maybe I missed the opportunity to say, spend some time with yourself. Actually, she tells me to do that more than I ever told her. But you're absolutely right. That space that you get in self it's yourself. It's you.
Yeah. There's a whole life going on beneath the surface of the
yes.
everyday busyness. And it's your memories, your impulses, your just everything else about your life, the richness that is in each of us.
Yeah.
And it's our own individual, unique life. And as far as kids, I always was having an argument with friends about quiet time and downtime and time to be bored, because it's okay. That's where creativity comes from.
Yeah. They actually took the word timeout out of, with children. And whenever back in the day, because I've been doing this for 45 years, back in the day, and I say, okay, take some time out, I truly meant this is not discipline, this is not bad. Take some time to yourself.
Good for you.
Like, listen, you're in this situation, certainly you don't going to yell and scream. That's not what we do. That's not how we discipline. But just take a little bit of time out. And sometimes I see a child just go in that space, which I call it safe space now, and just give them permission to take time with themselves.
It's amazing.
I really wish that was so much more of a curriculum today.
Yeah. I remember teaching a class at a high school, just a one-time thing, and I sat them down and I said, okay, this is going to seem silly, but I want you to just sit quietly for a few minutes and breathe and notice your breath coming into your belly, and just allow that to be there. And it was like 5 minutes or something, and they were like, wow, I never knew I could feel like this.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah.
And we need more of us to be connected to, who we are inside, and so we can speak with authenticity.
And how does that happen?
Well, when you know who you are, when you're in touch with what gives you life, what gives you spirit, what you love, then you can speak authentically from what resonates with you, instead of what you're reading on Facebook that somebody else thinks.
Yes. Thank you. As the other person listening, and you see that quality in a human being, how would you have the person who's listening bring that out? Is there any tips or tools that you can give someone? You know what I'm saying?
To bring out their authenticity.
To bring up the authenticity. Yes. I'm sorry.
Well, I think, take your time, feel what's right for you. I think the important thing is to get in touch with what's right for you and that has to do with my second book, Chasing Sleep.
My God, I love that. I love that title.
Because there's so much out there that's telling us that if we don't get 8 hours of sleep, we're doomed. We're going to get sick. We're going to die. And it's just not true. There's a whole lot of other research
Yes.
that's not funded by pharmaceutical companies and
Thank you.
shows a whole history of we've slept in patterns. We've had longer periods of time to sleep because there weren't electric lights. So when but people would go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep. And so if you're trying your hardest, your best to get to sleep, and you can't get what they say you need, what does that do? It messes with your mind. Then you begin to worry. Oh no, especially in the middle of the night.
I'm not doing this right.
Right.
I should get more out of this. It just sets that whole cycle in place.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, here I am laying here, I'm with myself, I'm relaxed, and even though I've been laying here for 45 minutes, there's still space for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, I should be sleeping, I should have been sleeping within 7 minutes, I'm not
Right.
sleeping within 7 minutes, this is not good, I won't be able to get up in the morning, and it
Right.
won't be a good day. And
Right.
we are programmed human beings, aren't we?
We are, and one of the important things is to pay attention to your thoughts and your inner conversations, because if you actually make a little log of how much time you got, the times you woke, the times you slept, you might find out you're sleeping more than you think. And so that's a conversation you can have with that nag that gets going in the middle of the night, and you can say, oh, well, I got more than I thought. Maybe I'll be okay today. I can handle today.
That's interesting. A couple of years ago, I was married 18 years in a second relationship. And when I first met my husband, one of the things that, believe it or not, bugged him about me back in the day was I took naps.
Naps are wonderful.
Naps are one, and how do you explain it to someone who's 50-some years old and thinks naps are like wrong? I'm
Well-
like, Ron, I'm sorry, but naps are wonderful. And every Sunday after, well, not so much during the week because I'm working many hours, but Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 4 was my time to go and nap and just spend time with myself. And he's like, I can't believe you. I mean, if we had a family event to go, I certainly wouldn't do it. But if it was
Right.
we're home alone, and he's like, Marianne, like, why do you nap? It became actually conversation between us. And I want to tell you, at 72, guess who's napping now?
Yeah, right. I
And
tell
he said,
us,
now I get it. But I
Yeah.
found it time for self. That's really,
She can
It
fall
really
asleep
is.
very easily, though.
people like get jealous. Like if I travel over the world, I've been
She
all over
doesn't
the
need a
world.
specific blanket, no specific pillow, not even. She
No
can fall
blankie.
She can fall asleep right on this floor.
If I'm going 12, 20 hours in a plane to Egypt, guess what?
She sleeps the whole time.
Good night. See you later. Click.
yeah, right,
It's,
right.
it's like a gift. It kind of is. You know what I'm saying?
It's a wonderful gift.
But
And
it's in my
even
head
if-
that it's a gift
Even
too.
if you just lie down for 15
Yep.
minutes,
Yep.
it's you're taking yourself out of gravity, and it just
Yeah.
shifts your brain.
Yeah. So how about the person who really gets into bed at night? And let's talk about that person because they're more out there than who can sleep anywhere. If they can't get to sleep, what do you suggest they do?
Well, I mean, there's
Chasing
a whole
sleep besides chasing their thoughts.
yeah, there's a whole litany of things, but it's really good if you get off your devices, turn off your
Okay, shut your devices off.
electronics early, so that you have a gradual wind down to your day. I mean, do some relaxing things. I mean, you read, listen to music, whatever. And it's okay to go to bed and not be able to get to sleep right away. I mean, that's normal and natural. So you might, one of the things that helps is to kind of review your day and feel gratitude for what went on and any things you might have done differently. Just be aware of that and have compassion for yourself about things that didn't go so well. And I think that process will kind of lead you into sleep. And if it doesn't, well, I read for a while.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But do you feel the age of devices has even made things even more challenging for people to be one with themselves?
I mean, I haven't seen studies, but I'm sure that
There
it
will be in the
has.
They're
next 10
coming,
to
they're
20
coming.
years.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Coming.
And people are staying on them much too late. And there have been studies eons ago about the flicker effect from TV
Yeah.
and how that decreases children's creativity by 20%, which is staggering. And
I didn't
so,
know that.
the devices emit these lights, their electromagnetic frequencies, all of that stuff should not be around you right before you're going to bed. And that's not even talking about the content. of what
Yes.
I mean, the content of what we're seeing these days is just not conducive to good sleep. So it takes discipline. It takes, changing those habits, and each of us can do that.
Yeah.
I think honestly, which is pathetic, my phone is right on my nightstand next to my bed because I use as well, because your phone can be used as everything today, right? Your alarm clock, your diet calculator, your camera. It's like one-stop shopping on a device. So I use it as my alarm clock, and as soon as I pick it up, the first thing I do is go on and check all of my apps instead of just shutting off the alarm. And I think to
Yeah.
myself, I should just put this on the other side of the room.
Yes,
so I
that's-
don't even have the urge to do that. But it's right. It's a habit.
It's a
My
habit.
It's just now natural. Even if I don't even want to look at it,
But you can take
do it.
control. You can take
I know
control.
I can just put the phone somewhere else.
When I need to set my alarm, it's across the room,
Yeah.
and I hear it. And because I think it's the way we go to sleep and the way we wake up in the morning are really important transitions. And again, for me, it starts the day because if you wake up and there's a sweetness about us
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yes, there
And
is.
if you just linger with that a bit, it's
Yeah.
a way of taking in the good again.
Yeah.
What you do when you see something beautiful, and linger with that instead of jumping up, running up,
Yeah. Or stimulating your mind right away
or
with the device.
getting on your device.
Are you
yeah.
familiar with Louise Hay's morning
sure.
meditation?
Um,
Yeah, and God bless YouTube, and God bless you. I'm
Yeah.
going to give a little
She's
shout
so
out.
nice.
But I wake up in the morning, and what I tend to do is I spend time, etc. But then for the last probably year, I would say at least twice a week, I listen to a morning meditation. It really gets me. It's like a state of prayer. I grew up a Catholic, and then we always prayed a lot because I was a Catholic school in the basic beginning years. But that actually gets me back to that moment to be
Sure.
a lot of gratitude. Her YouTube meditation, which is free, is all about thanking your refrigerator. So
Yeah.
now I get up, I go get the cream for my coffee. I'm like, thank you, refrigerator.
Yeah.
But it takes that little extra for me to really get in that mode to be able to do that.
It shifts you.
It shifts you.
It
Thank
shifts
you, thank
so
you,
that
yeah.
you're in your gratefulness.
And your gratefulness,
part
like,
of
yeah,
it.
guess
because
what?
we are amazing beings, and
human beings are, yeah, amazing.
it's such a gift what goes on in us to make us sit here, make us walk. I mean, it's incredible.
It's incredible
There's so
what
much
the
to
human
be
body
grateful
can
for.
do. It's incredible.
Yeah.
We're like all of each and every one of us are like mini miracles in so many different ways, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now you said you're working on a third book as well.
I am.
And is it-
well, it's ready to go to press.
Oh, wow. That's like,
And is it
It's exciting.
similar in
It's
nature?
called Climate Sense, a practical guide to taking action and keeping your cool. I had to hesitate because I've changed the title so many
I
times.
get that. So tell us how to keep you cool.
Well, the book goes into times when we've had things happen environmentally, bad things, rivers on fire and stuff like that, whatever. And we have actually come together and solved those problems. So I give that context of we are able to solve things when we pay attention, accept that it's real. Excuse me. And I give a lot of things that people can do at the end of the book, and I tell the whole situation of what is going on, that there isn't much time and that we need to take action because we don't have leadership. So it's up to each individual to begin to change how we do things and to pay attention. And again, it's habits. It's being aware of what we're doing. I noticed you have cups instead of water bottles. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, it's paying attention to
The
the
environment.
little things that we've done without thinking, and we thought a lot of them were great, but now it's a different time and we have to change.
I took my 8-year-old granddaughter out a couple weeks ago, and they brought straws to the table, and she goes, I'm not drinking with a straw. Do you know that's in a turtle's eye? Oh my God,
See
that's
How old is she?
toes.
8.
Oh,
She will not use.
She goes,
It's my daughter. She won't use straws.
but
Good,
that
good.
one little piece is not that little, that's big. That somehow,
Yeah.
it wasn't me who taught her, was it you or maybe
It was
Dad?
actually the Today Show.
Oh, that was on the Today Show. All right. So bottom line, she heard that.
She saw
Yeah.
a sea turtle with it, and she's like,
Yeah.
The sea turtle
It's
with
creepy.
the, with
Yeah.
the oh yeah, what the pollution's doing to the ocean really
Oh,
concerns me.
it's terrible.
But she saw the sea turtle with a straw in its eye, and now she's not using straws, and not she's got me not
Good,
to use a straw.
good.
So guess
and
what?
if you choose to use it, she goes, please recycle it, Mom. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, the restaurant industry, I get all that. I'm not even going to concern that. I'm just saying for our family, for that moment in time, that's what an 8-year-old
The
decided to do.
kids are going to teach us, and they're going to lead.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So tell us what it was like to be, you still are, I should say, a holistic psychotherapist. What is that all about?
Well,
It's pretty cool.
it's psychotherapy. It was private practice, but it brought in a spiritual component, which is what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
You know, finding stillness within you, so that there's more to you than the surface rush. And holistic means that I was also paying attention to what they were eating and all the
Oh,
other
nice.
parts of
Yeah.
life, because people can be running around and not eating well.
We're definitely a society of convenience.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are.
and convenience has been a great thing, but it's
It's helpful, but it can definitely
eating
be.
us up right now.
Yes, yes. It's fun at the time, and it makes life easier.
Yeah.
It's easier is not better.
Easier is not better. Too many people get takeout food all the time, and actually making food is good. It feels good, tastes good.
It does.
I mean, and people oftentimes eat on the run and don't sit down with their kids. And coming together at a family table is where children learn manners. Maybe that's not the right word. How
a
to
good word.
respect, how to get along, how to communicate. Because I think nowadays, again, with everybody being on their devices, it's been noticed that people are less able to communicate and actually afraid of meeting people.
Yeah. Last few weeks, actually a few months, but the last few weeks, I've been walking door to door for different reasons, and I'll be surprised. I'm shocked of how many doors I open and they're cooking dinner. I'm like, can I come in? Like, you forget that smell, you know what I mean?
know.
It's amazing. I'm like surprised, like
Yeah.
how, and maybe because it's the fall, maybe because the doors are shut, who knows? But lots of people are making that 5
That's
o'clock
great.
dinner, and
That's
it smells.
great.
The minute you open that door, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Brings you right back to that family table. That's what made me think of it. Right
Yeah.
back. I feel like I'm sitting there as a kid.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's important. I think a lot of times if you do have flexibility of schedule, you're able to do that.
Right.
You know? But I remember many days eating out because it was just easy. It was easy, and you have so much going on. You have a meeting to go to, then you have your sports to go to, and you're like,
You know what the
food
problem?
becomes secondary. Like
Yes.
it's supposed to
Yes.
nourish you,
Yes.
and it becomes secondary to survival, which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like making it not important, yet it's the most important.
By
Which
far.
goes back again to how many things are we programming our kids for?
Yeah.
And as far as, making things, sometimes you can make up soup or whatever on the weekend
Yeah.
or make something that lasts for several days.
Yeah. Actually, my husband does that. He'll go online, get a recipe, and make a Sunday afternoon soup for the week.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is cooking. It's the cleanup.
Yeah,
If someone
cleanup.
could come in and clean up, I would be in my kitchen every night cooking.
I know.
just like
It's
to
the
take
cleanup
out the
that's the pits,
pots
yeah.
and
I agree.
pans, and it's the only part of it I don't like. I love the cooking and everything
Yeah,
else. But yeah,
I know.
Yeah. How about we've got 5 minutes left? But do you think food before you go to sleep? Is there any food you think it's just the human beings
Well,
that
I think
feel
that
way?
it's
or is it-
important to eat early enough so that
Early
your
enough, okay.
digestion goes on.
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes somebody needs just a little bit of something, nuts or something, to go to sleep, and that's fine. I don't have any particular. It's just that I think you need to eat earlier.
One of the things you said earlier, and see if I picked it up the right way too, is if you're a person who only sleeps 5 hours a night, that's okay.
Well, it
Know
may
what I'm
be okay
hearing?
for you.
Yeah, but okay for that person.
It wouldn't be
correct.
okay for me.
Not me either, but I'm just saying, but for some people, so instead of them picking up guilt and thinking they're
Right.
not good enough sleeping,
Right.
like 5 hours, how do you feel? So I always say to people, like, well, how do you feel today? Like, I feel good. I'm like, well, I think that's your answer, you know?
And that's an important point, I ask people to sort of assess themselves.
Assess
So how are you
themselves, yeah.
doing? How are you really doing? How's your life going?
Yeah.
Are you tired all the time? Are you angry and upset and crabby? You know, you might want to step back and just notice and say, okay, what can I do here?
Yeah. Yeah.
A self-assessment.
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 Yep.
That's right.
Sometimes
Amy. Yeah.
easier said than done.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time. And just think, if you're awake in the middle of the night, you have lots of time.
You have time to do
Oh,
it.
yes, you do. That's a very, very good point. So when you wake up at night, you can make that actually
Yeah.
special time for yourself.
Absolutely.
Really?
And you can I put paper by my
Paper,
bed
yes,
so that
yeah.
I can write, because, you know, there are things that come up in the middle of the night that you
Yeah.
think are so important.
And then you
And in
forget
the
about it by
morning,
the
it's
time you
like,
wake up.
oh, I knew there was something important.
I'm reading children's books, but one of the things I read a lot on how to write a book, but they say that's a huge important piece to have that notepad. So when
Yes.
a lot of ideas come at night.
Oh,
when
they
your
do.
body's in that horizontal position and you just let it go,
Yeah.
and they say you should jot it down. So
Yeah.
you do that, huh?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
haven't really started that.
Ideas come for me when I'm lying down, so even in the nap time in the daytime.
Okay.
So
So you
there's some-
just jot them right in and pick them up later.
Yep.
Super. Wow.
And I had a thought for your husband. I don't know if we have time. There's a story of a business executive who was having a meeting with someone else, and there was, you know, the time the other person came in for the meeting, and he found the executive underneath the table on the floor taking a nap. This is in Japan. So he came in and got under the table, took a nap too.
That's awesome.
Tell your husband.
I wish I could take a nap at work. I would.
Yeah, really.
I'm a napper. I like sleep,
She-
though. I'm
yeah.
a sleeper.
Like
She's-
your mother.
Yeah,
Yes.
really. Well,
My husband doesn't have the gift. I have a gift.
I don't know if Ava's got it either.
No, she does
No,
not.
we definitely have it. My son.
I'm
but
hoping
yeah.
she gets it.
It's a wonderful gift.
Well, you have been an absolute great guest on Women's Business. Patricia, Chasing Sleep. I'm actually going to get this book. I'm really
Cool.
share it with my friends. We have a group of women that we always hang around together, and they're always looking for good books to read. I'm gonna, because we always talk about sleep a lot, so I'm gonna suggest that book to them.
Good,
For Christmas.
thank you.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank
Any
you very
closing
much.
points you want to make before we end? We got like 1 minute left.
Well, I think, you know, to summarize where we've been, I think it's really important to take time. Take time for
time.
yourself, so you know yourself, so you rest and relax into that sweetness of who each of us is, and that whole river of wonder that goes on beneath the surface.
And give yourself permission to take time.
Give yourself permission. You have permission.
What a way to end that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.